Now let's focus on an emergency that Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta says is the #1 threat to our national security: cyber attacks. It's a problem of gargantuan proportions. And if the federal government is worried about it, what are you and I to do? How do we protect ourselves? Come along with me as I visit with the folks at the Colorado Springs Police Department to find out. Hey everybody, I'm here with Sergeant Bill D. Hart from the Colorado Springs Police Department. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me here, I should say.
I'm glad we're here.
Now you work with a specific division.
Correct.
And that is?
I'm in the Investigations Division, and I work with Internet Crimes Against Children and the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, and also computer forensics.
Okay, so you know a lot about the potential and the fact that we're at risk for cyber attacks, both businesses and individuals.
Yes, there we are.
What's the definition of a cyber attack?
Well, it's someone that's attempting to gain information that they don't have a right to have. So our personal information, credit histories.
Like the fact that I know where you live? No.
Well, and you can find that. The reality is the information is out there.
Yeah.
So it's if someone has exceeded their authorized access, so they're using tools, whatever it may be, to access that information. So they're attacking that system, whether it's a doctor's office, a bank, or your personal cell phone. They're using something to gain information that they don't have a right to have.
Right, and that can have very serious consequences.
That's your personal information.
Right.
And if someone goes out and commits a crime using your information, there could be an arrest warrant for your name.
Right, or and they can get all kinds of they can also install malware on your computer. They can get rid of your data that you need to save. I mean, I've heard even problems in the cloud these days when companies send things to the cloud, that can be attacked.
Everything is vulnerable because we're connected. So it's the idea behind a secure fortress. If you leave one door unlocked in that secure fortress, the entire building is vulnerable, even though the rest of the building is very safe.
Right. So when you do business with companies, I guess one thing that's important is to know their privacy policy.
You always want to know from the perspective of who am I dealing with, who am I giving my information to? And you have a right to ask that question, is how secure is my information? If you go to your doctor's office, is it kept on a computer in that building and there's no security in it?
You know, I've never asked that, and I work for the Better Business Bureau. I should know to ask my doctor, is my information secure? Where do you store that?
And the reality is, with the doctors that I've dealt with and those that I'm aware of, they're very careful about it because of all the laws. So what you're looking at is people that are doing everything they can to mitigate it, but understanding that because it's a computer, because there's so many vulnerabilities potentially, and plus there's new ones coming out every day,
right,
we're vulnerable.
Right. So what do we need to do in terms of being vigilant or being accountable for ourselves in terms of keeping our information safe? We should probably get credit reports.
Should always get a credit report. I would recommend that you do it more than once a year. And with that, review what's on it.
Yes, really line item by line item by line item. And I want to add that in the state of Colorado, we are allowed to get one free credit report from each of the 3 credit reporting agencies: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And it seems like a little bit of a hassle, but if you stagger them every 4 months, then you can really keep on top of it.
Exactly, and it's better to know a few months into it if you've been victimized than a year later.
Oh yeah, because a lot of damage could have been done.
Very much so.
So what in terms of our hardware, our smartphones, our laptops, our computers, our tablets, do we need to do?
Make sure that you have antivirus and that it's up to date.
That's another thing. People think they have antivirus, but it's not up to date. It's outdated, so that's not going to do you any good.
And that's the idea of if you have, to use a metaphor, if you have a vehicle, you understand that you need oil in it, that you need fuel, the tires need to be kept.
Maintenance.
It's just basic maintenance. Doesn't mean you know how the thing works, but you understand how to keep it running. So the same thing with any kind of device that's connected to the internet. Have you done things that you can to mitigate your potential risk?
Okay, so that means password protect things, right?
Strong passwords or passphrases, such as Denver Broncos. You have capital letters, lowercase letters, a space. The idea is just simply mixing it up.
And we were talking before, but some people just use the word password.
That's a very common password.
Yeah, I mean, can't they be a little more creative with their passwords? Password? Come on, I would even be able to hack into your computer if you do that. Not that I would.
I appreciate that.
And not that I ever have, so don't arrest me. But
well, the idea is we do have a tendency to have information overload. So people become overwhelmed with that. So the reality is come up with something that's easy to remember but a little difficult for someone to try to break.
Right. So not your birthday, not your social security number, not
Not your social security number.
Right. Exactly. So what final thing would you like consumers and business to know about protecting themselves?
The easiest thing to remember is taking a look at the vulnerabilities. If someone were attempting to get into your home, would you walk around the home and figure out what would be the best way to get in your home and then fortify that?
Okay.
Same thing with a computer.
All right, very good. That's great information, and I swear I really didn't. I won't hack into anybody's computer.
I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.